So, talking about the statues and focusing mainly on the poets on the writers, I just remember you have also translated some very classic poets and writers. Do you want to talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit?
sure. I mean, to be fair, most of the Bulgarian poetry I translate is by contemporary Bulgarian writers who I know personally. But I have translated this guy, Geo Milev,
Right.
um,
The
who,
poet who was injured in the World War.
yeah, he only lived for 30 years, from 1895 to 1925. As you say, he was very, very badly injured in the First World War,
Right.
lost one of his eyes, and was in a lot of pain actually for the rest of his life. Um, but as a writer, extraordinarily energetic and productive. Wrote masses of literary criticism, did loads of translations from various languages into Bulgarian, um, uh, and was a kind of absolute champion of radical Bulgarian literature. That was his line. He was very influenced by Expressionism in Germany and by modernism in general. And he's really one of the key figures of European modernism that in the English-speaking world is hardly ever, no, it's not known really. In fact, it's hardly been translated because he's quite difficult to translate. He uses a
Right.
lot of sound effects. His rhythm is unusual, and so you have to, as a translator, kind of come up with all sorts of solutions to try and get that kind of sound of it. It's never going to be the same,
Wow.
but at
Wow.
least an equivalent. So I've worked very closely with two, Angelegov, a Bulgarian novelist and translator, and Bujil Christoph is a linguistic scholar. And together they just helped me enormously. So
Wonderful.
that's going to be published. The selection that I've done of his poems and prose poems are hopefully going to be published later this year or early
Wow.
next year. Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations in
Thank you.
advance for that.
Thank you.
And you're also teaching here.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how do you find it? I mean, how is the experience? How is it different from teaching in other places?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, I teach creative writing at Sofia University, and I think teaching creative writing is possibly the same the world over in a way. What's really interesting for me is obviously to read what young Bulgarians, for the most part, are writing, and,
Right.
and, and seeing how their kind of writing is adapting to how Bulgaria is nowadays. So the sort of next generation of writers. Over the last 2 years too, a lot of it's been online, the teaching. So I've also taught students from Uzbekistan and Iraq. And that again has been really fascinating because it's like students from completely different cultural backgrounds writing in English about their own lives. So yeah, it's really
Wonderful.
interesting.
Yeah, interesting. And okay, I
Okay.
think it has a problem.